Let's start with a truth that's uncomfortable but absolutely necessary. Most men have no idea when a woman isn't interested in them. They waste weeks, months, even years chasing someone who doesn't care, telling themselves it's just bad timing or that she's playing hard to get. Here's the blunt reality. If she isn't giving you clear signs of interest, she isn't interested. Period. Ignoring this reality isn't charming or persistent. It's pathetic. And yet, many men allow themselves to be strung along, thinking that persistence automatically leads to eventual success. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Let's be clear. This video isn't about teaching you manipulative tricks or toxic strategies to make someone like you. This is about waking up and seeing the truth in front of you. The truth is that your time, energy, and self-respect are far more valuable than chasing someone who isn't giving you the respect of genuine interest. Yet most men never realize it because society tells them, just keep trying, don't give up. But sometimes the best move isn't persistence, it's awareness. The signs are there, but most men either miss them or completely ignore them because they're afraid of rejection. Let me break it down. Rejection isn't a tragedy, it's a reality check. And if you want to grow, if you want to succeed in dating and life, you have to start accepting reality instead of living in a fantasy world. A woman who's interested will make it obvious. And if she isn't, every hesitation, every delay, every excuse is a flashing neon sign screaming, "I'm not interested." Yet men keep convincing themselves that one more message, one more compliment, or one more gesture will change everything. It won't. Here's the controversial part. Men are training themselves to tolerate rejection and disrespect, and they're proud of it. They brag about persistence like it's a badge of honor. I've been in trying for months. She still won't respond, but I'm not giving up. Listen closely. This is exactly how you lose your value in the eyes of a woman who doesn't see it. Value isn't earned by clinging. It's built by recognizing your worth and walking away when someone doesn't reciprocate. The moment you start tolerating disinterest, you're lowering your standard, and that's a dangerous trap. Now let's be honest. Why do men fall into this trap so easily? Part of it is cultural programming. Movies, social media, and dating advice glorify the man who fights for a woman, as if love is a battlefield and persistence is the ultimate weapon. But real life isn't a movie. You're not the hero who wins her heart against all odds. In reality, you're just investing your time, emotions, and confidence into someone who doesn't care. And nothing will erode your self-esteem faster than believing in a one-sided connection. Another truth most men don't want to hear. Ignoring signs of disinterest isn't cute. It's creepy. Women can feel it when a man refuses to acknowledge her lack of interest. It creates tension, awkwardness, and eventually frustration. And no, persistence isn't a way to prove your worth. True worth is measured by how much you value yourself and the standards you refuse to compromise. A woman who's genuinely interested will meet you halfway. She'll show effort, attention, and curiosity. If she doesn't, she's sending a very clear message, and it's up to you to pay attention or continue wasting your life chasing illusions. Here's the final point before we dive into the sections. Men, it's time to wake up. Stop romanticizing rejection. Stop glorifying persistence at the expense of self-respect. Start reading the signs, understanding the signals, and acting on reality, not your fantasies. The moment you acknowledge the truth, you free yourself from endless frustration and end space for someone who actually wants to be with you. This video will teach you exactly what those signs look like, so you never waste your energy again. You'll learn how to spot the subtle cues and obvious behaviors that indicate a woman isn't interested in you. And yes, some of it may feel harsh, even controversial, but sometimes truth is harsh. And if you're willing to face it, your dating life and your confidence will change forever. So buckle up, because it's about to get real. The signs are everywhere, but most men are blind to them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what to avoid, and most importantly, how to protect your self-respect while navigating the confusing world of dating. Let's get straight to the point. Nothing screams disinterest louder than a woman who disappears and leaves you hanging. Yet so many men fall into the same trap. They keep texting, calling, and chasing, hoping that one more try will change everything. Here's the hard truth. If she's not showing up for you, she's not interested. And continuing to chase her isn't determination, it's desperation. Think about it. If a woman genuinely cares, she will make time for you. She will answer your messages, respond to your calls, and make an effort to be present in your life. When she suddenly disappears, ignores your texts for days, or avoids plans, Those aren't signs of a busy schedule. They are flashing red flags that she doesn't want to invest her time in you. Yet men convince themselves otherwise. They come up with endless justifications. Maybe she's stressed. She's busy at work. She's just shy. Stop lying to yourself. Excuses don't change the fact that she's not making an effort. Here's a scenario that happens all the time. Imagine a man who meets a woman he likes. At first, she seems interested, laughs at his jokes, responds quickly, even flirts a little. But after a week, she starts disappearing. Messages go unanswered for hours, then days. Calls are ignored. Plans get canceled with vague reasons. Instead of recognizing her lack of interest, he doubles down. He sends more texts, leaves voicemails, and even shows up uninvited because he's convinced persistence will win her over. What does he achieve? Frustration, rejection, and a bruised ego. She doesn't suddenly care, more just because he tried harder. In fact, chasing someone who's already pulled away makes him appear needy, weak, and easy to overlook. The lesson here is simple. When someone doesn't show up for you, don't try to force them. Respect yourself enough to stop investing in someone who's not reciprocating. Your energy, time, and emotions are your most valuable assets. When you waste them on someone who disappears, you're teaching yourself to tolerate disrespect. That's not attractive. It's harmful. A woman who's genuinely interested will prioritize you even if life gets busy. Disinterest, however, is consistent, and you should read it as a clear message. Move on. Many men resist this truth because they confuse persistence with masculinity. They think, if I keep trying, I'll eventually win her over. Here's the reality check. Persistence is only valuable when it's met with effort and interest. Chasing someone who doesn't care isn't brave. It's embarrassing. It erodes your confidence, makes you appear desperate, and leaves you vulnerable to repeated rejection. A man who understands his worth doesn't waste time chasing someone who isn't investing in him. He knows that the right person will meet him halfway without being forced or manipulated. Another thing to note, disappearing acts are often subtle. She may respond sporadically, just enough to keep you hopeful, but never fully commit. These small bursts of attention are dangerous because they trick men into thinking there's still potential. But attention without consistency is meaningless. Real interest is consistent. If she's not consistent, she's not interested. And the longer you ignore this, the more time you waste chasing a dead end. Here's where men need to be brutally honest with themselves. If you find yourself constantly waiting for her to respond, planning your day around her, messages, or obsessing over when she'll text back, that's a sign you're losing control. You're placing your emotional power in the hands of someone who doesn't value it. And no matter how much effort you put in, you cannot manufacture interest where it doesn't exist. The harsh truth is that some women will enjoy the attention without ever intending to reciprocate it fully. Recognizing this early saves you weeks, months, or even years of frustration. So what do you do when she ghosts? First, stop chasing. Step back and observe. If she truly wants to be in your life, she will reach out. If she doesn't, accept the reality and move forward. This isn't about ego, it's about self-respect. Men who fail to accept ghosting as disinterest are the same men who fall for one-sided relationships and get heartbroken repeatedly. Understanding and respecting boundaries, hers and your own, is a sign of emotional maturity. Remember this, the moment she ghosts, it's not the start of a challenge, it's the end of her interest. Anything beyond that is wasting your energy. You are not obligated to convince someone to care about you. The men who succeed in dating don't chase women who disappear. They invest in women who are present. Presence equals interest. Absence equals disinterest. It's as simple as that. Ultimately, recognizing when a woman isn't showing up is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Stop convincing yourself that ghosting is just a phase. Stop pretending that sporadic attention means she likes you, and stop chasing someone who doesn't prioritize you. When you accept this reality, you stop wasting time and open yourself up for someone who truly wants to be in your life, someone consistent, present, and genuinely interested. Let's be real, men have a tendency to romanticize excuses. We tell ourselves, she would hang out if she was busy or she's just stressed. That's why she didn't reply. Here's the truth. Consistent effort is the ultimate measure of interest. If she truly cares, she will make time. If she doesn't, she'll give you excuses and the excuses will never stop. You can relate to this. How many times have you rearranged your schedule, made plans, or reached out only to get some vague reason why she couldn't meet or respond? Maybe she says she's tired, busy with work, or has something going on in her life. At first, you accept it because it sounds reasonable. You tell yourself everyone has things to deal with. But over time, these small excuses stack up, and you begin to notice a pattern. Effort is missing. Effort isn't convenient or selective. It's consistent. And here's where the problem gets tricky. Men often excuse the lack of effort because it's easier than accepting the truth. Admitting that she's not interested hurts, so you subconsciously look for reasons to justify it. Maybe she texts back sporadically, but you convince yourself she's busy. Maybe she cancels plans frequently, but you tell yourself she's overwhelmed. But let's cut through the nonsense. If someone is truly interested, they will make it happen. They will prioritize you even when life gets hectic. The frustration here is relatable because we all want to feel wanted. We want someone to value our time, our attention, and our effort. But when a woman constantly offers excuses instead of action, she's sending a clear message. She doesn't value you enough to show up. And the hardest part, men often let themselves believe that persistence will change her mind. It won't. Trying to override a lack of effort with your own energy only drains you and makes you appear desperate. Think about the subtle signs. She never initiates contact, but she responds when you reach out. She agrees to meet, but only if it fits perfectly into her schedule. She talks about her life, but never asks about yours or makes an effort to connect. These are all excuses wrapped in politeness. And yes, you can relate. You've probably been in situations where you bent over backward to make things work while she remained passive or indifferent. That's not love. That's selective effort. Here's the harsh truth. Excuses are emotional camouflage. They disguise a lack of interest as something temporary or understandable. And men fall for it because they want to believe in a story where effort will come eventually. The problem is, it never does. Excuses are easy. Effort is hard. If she can't show up for you now, she won't show up for you later. And accepting this reality isn't rejection, it's awareness. The point men need to internalize is simple. Effort equals interest. If she's genuinely invested, she will make time, check in regularly, and prioritize you even when it's inconvenient. Anything less is a sign that she isn't interested, and no amount of chasing or overthinking will change that. You can't manufacture someone else's effort. It has to come naturally, willingly, and consistently. Here's why this matters. Tolerating excuses lowers your standards. It tells you that your time and energy are negotiable. It tells you that your attention can be wasted on someone who doesn't care. And every time you accept an excuse over genuine effort, you train yourself to tolerate a one-sided connection. That's a dangerous habit that erodes confidence, self-respect, and emotional well-being. It's also important to note that recognizing excuses doesn't make you cold or insensitive. It makes you aware. It allows you to protect your energy and focus on people who are genuinely present in your life. Life is too short to invest in someone who gives you half-hearted attention, vague promises, or endless justifications. The men who succeed in relationships are the ones who recognize effort and consistency as non-negotiable. They don't waste time trying to fix someone else's lack of interest. They focus on what's real and reciprocal. So, if you notice patterns of excuses in your interactions, take a step back, observe, reflect, understand. That effort is the baseline for interest. Excuses are the opposite. Stop rationalizing behavior that clearly shows disinterest. Accepting this reality allows you to move forward with clarity and confidence. You deserve someone who meets you halfway, not someone who gives you excuses in place of attention. Ultimately, men, it's about awareness and self-respect. Don't settle for excuses when effort is possible. Don't convince yourself that words can replace action, and don't waste energy on someone who isn't willing to show up. Real connections are built on mutual effort, and anything less is a clear sign that she isn't interested. Once you accept this, you reclaim your power and open the door to relationships that are genuine, consistent, and fulfilling. Here's a reality check that most men hate hearing. If she's flirting with everyone around her but never with you, she's not interested. And yet so many men convince themselves otherwise. They make excuses, overthink, and even question their own worth instead of waking up to the obvious truth. Let's be real. There's a pattern here, and ignoring it is costing you time, energy, and confidence. You can relate. Maybe you've Been in a room with her, noticing how easily she laughs at other guys' jokes, touches them lightly, or gives them playful attention, and there you are, trying to get her attention, hoping for a smile or a glance, but it never comes. She's always warm, engaging, or flirty with everyone else, yet distant with you. That subtle difference is a red flag most men completely miss because they want to believe in a story that isn't real. Here's the uncomfortable truth for men. You're often too passive, or too blinded by desire to see what's right in front of you. You excuse her behavior. She's just friendly. Maybe she's shy with me, or she's just joking. But let's be honest, flirting with everyone except you is a very deliberate signal. It shows interest elsewhere and disinterest in you. And the longer you ignore it, the more you train yourself to accept a one-sided dynamic where you're the only one investing effort. Men need to wake up and stop thinking that being nice, persistent, or patient will eventually change her feelings. It won't. You're not going to magically become the center of her attention if she's already spreading it elsewhere. By waiting, hoping, or overanalyzing, you're doing exactly what society tells you not to do, undervaluing yourself. You're allowing someone else's disinterest to dictate your emotional state, your confidence, and even your happiness. That's a dangerous habit that keeps repeating itself until you finally wake up. And here's another lesson. Noticing that she flirts with others, but not you, is a test of self-awareness. Men often fail this test because they're afraid of rejection or confrontation. They stay silent, internalize frustration, and continue playing a role that nobody asked them to. But self-respect is not negotiable. You don't need to win her attention, approval, or affection. You need to recognize when your energy is wasted. Someone who flirts with everyone else, but not you, is showing clearly where her priorities lie, and it's not with you. It's also important to understand that this isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about clarity and action. Men, stop accepting behaviors that make you feel small, invisible, or undervalued. Stop thinking that ignoring signs of disinterest is patience or charm. Real confidence is about seeing the truth, acting accordingly, and refusing to settle for someone who isn't genuinely invested. This is where criticism becomes necessary. Far too many men sit quietly hoping that persistence, compliments, or effort will eventually make her care. Wake up. Chasing someone who is busy giving her attention to others doesn't make you heroic. It makes you naive. You're teaching yourself to tolerate being second, third, or last in someone's priorities, and that's not healthy. Respect your own time, energy, and emotional investment. Recognize that real interest is obvious. It doesn't hide behind jokes, excuses, or selective attention. The solution is simple, but requires courage. Step back. Observe her behavior honestly. Stop rationalizing why she doesn't flirt with you. Accept that her attention is elsewhere. And most importantly, redirect your energy to people who are genuinely excited to be around you, who engage with you, and who value your presence. Flirting with others while ignoring you isn't a challenge to overcome. It's a clear message to move on. At the end of the day, this is about reclaiming control over your self-respect. Stop letting someone else's actions dictate how you feel. Stop convincing yourself that ignoring reality is a sign of patience. And stop chasing attention that will never be yours. Real connections are built on mutual effort, interest, and genuine presence. Anything less is a waste of your time and confidence. Men, wake up. If she flirts with everyone except you, she's not interested. Accept it, learn from it, and move on. Your energy, confidence, and time are far too valuable to spend on someone who won't meet you halfway. Stop giving excuses for behavior that's obvious. Start valuing yourself enough to only invest in people who show the same interest, effort, and attention that you do. Let me be brutally honest. Most men are walking around blind when it comes to dating. You see, the truth nobody wants to tell you is this. If you are constantly chasing women who don't show up for you, making excuses for their behavior, or hoping that your persistence will eventually make them care, you're doing it all wrong. And here's the controversial part that will sting some of you. The problem isn't just her, it's you. Men, wake up. You are training yourselves to tolerate rejection, disinterest, and disrespect, and calling it patience or persistence. That's not strength, that's weakness, disguised as hope. Think about it for a second. You spend hours, days, sometimes weeks worrying about why she didn't text back, why she canceled plans, or why she flirts with everyone except you. Meanwhile, you're losing focus on yourself, your goals, and your own life. You're giving away your emotional power to someone who doesn't value it. And the most shocking truth, most men don't even realize they're doing it. You've been conditioned to believe that persistence equals success. But in reality, it's often the fastest way to erode your confidence, self-respect, and even your happiness. Here's where it gets controversial. If you keep doing the same things, you'll get the same results. Stop expecting women to change their behavior because you're invested. Stop hoping that attention or effort will magically appear where interest doesn't exist. And stop convincing yourself that rejection is a minor inconvenience rather than a glaring signal. The reality is simple. Women who are genuinely interested will make it obvious. They will show up, they will communicate, and they will invest effort consistently. Anyone who doesn't do these things is signaling in no uncertain terms that you are not a priority. Accept it or keep wasting your time. And here's my wake-up call to men. The longer you tolerate excuses, ghosting, and one-sided attention, the more you lower your standards without even realizing it. You're telling yourself that selective attention, sporadic effort, and inconsistent behavior are somehow normal. They are not. Accepting these behaviors is not being patient, it's being naive. If you truly want to succeed in dating and in life, you need to start valuing your time and energy more than someone else's disinterest. But it's not all criticism. There's hope. The moment you stop chasing, stop rationalizing, and start observing reality, your entire perspective shifts. You start recognizing patterns, setting boundaries, and understanding what healthy interest looks like. You begin to see who deserves your attention and who doesn't. And that's the point of this video, to wake men up to the truth. No sugarcoating, no pretending, no excuses. I want to challenge you directly. Look at your recent experiences. Think about the women you've been pursuing, the effort you've been giving, and the energy you've wasted. Be honest with yourself. Were they meeting you halfway, or were you doing all the heavy lifting? If it's the latter, that's your wake-up call. Stop justifying behavior that clearly shows disinterest. Stop making excuses for women who don't prioritize you. Start putting your energy into connections that are reciprocal, genuine, and fulfilling. And I want to create a connection here. Comment below with your experiences. Tell me when you realized a woman wasn't interested, or share the moments when you wasted time chasing someone who didn't value you. I will read your comments and I will reach out. I want to engage with you personally because your struggles are real and I've seen them too. This isn't about shaming you, it's about empowering you. It's about helping you wake up, reclaim your confidence, and start investing in people who actually deserve your effort. Here's the most controversial statement I'll leave you with. The biggest reason men fail in dating isn't women, it's their own inability to accept reality. Stop blaming her for not being interested. Stop waiting for someone to validate your worth. Stop chasing people who won't reciprocate. Your value isn't determined by who pays attention to you. It's determined by how much you respect yourself and the standards you refuse to compromise. Once you realize that, the world opens up in ways you never imagined. So, take action today. Recognize the signs, set your boundaries, and refuse to waste another second on anyone who doesn't meet you halfway. Comment your thoughts, share your experiences, and I'll be there to respond. This isn't just a video. It's a movement for men to wake up, reclaim their time, and finally invest in relationships that are real, healthy, and rewarding. Your time, your energy, and your self-respect are priceless. Don't let anyone, no matter how charming or attractive, convince you otherwise.